Hi guys, Rose here with the Cackling Moon. This is my last reading for today, so I'm I'm like, yay! And then I'm gonna go get lunch because I'm starving. But this is the spirit guide session reading. So my client has questions about their spirit guide, and I wrote them down. How do the guides talk with me? How can I connect with them? And then they also battle with worry, doubt when reading the tarot for themselves. They struggle with ego and with their ego. They struggle with trusting their intuition because their ego gets in the way. So we're going to look into all of that. But basically, I want to pull for your guide. So I ask that your guide is present and speak to me through the cards. And I want to pull on you revealing yourself so we could share this with my clients. Your guide is male, or at least like they have a very masculine energy to them. The Justice card came out when I was feeling that. So your guide is very much in helping you receive what you deserve, okay? And this could be in both good and bad situations, you know, depending on the kind of energies, the kind of karma that you put out into the world. Your guide is there to kind of help you receive what it is that you need from it. Okay, so your guide is revealing to choose wisely. The spiritual strength is in reversed. The rejoice in celebration and material harvest is in reverse. So your guide is basically saying at this time, your connection, your trust in them, it's weak. And you've even said so in your email that you want to learn how to connect with them better. The spiritual strength in reverse is popping out to me as a lack of trust, a lack of faith. So what first needs to happen is you need to base a relationship with your spirit guide. The first thing you should do is say, I believe in you. I know that you're there. I could feel you at times. And then you start going from there. You start communicating with your guide. You ask them to show me a sign that you are around. And then you wait with an open heart and an open mind for that sign. Anything that sticks out to you, that just sticks out to you randomly, is your sign. And you have to have faith that that is your sign. Because the more you start trusting that, you start shutting out your ego and you let your intuition come through, the more often you're going to notice these signs from your guide. Okay? Your guide's energy is very logical, more, very reality based. So, that might be easier for you because I feel like you approach your spiritual from a more realistic approach. It's almost like you have to physically see it to believe it, kind of thing. So your guide is going to do that, most likely they're going to reveal to you messages through the physical. So in the shape of people who are going to enter your life. They're going to give you advice at the right moment that you needed it. You might find that questions you have for your guide, you're going to see it through the form of people, the conversations you have, that kind of thing. That's what I mean by the physical. Choose wisely in reverse is kind of telling me your guide is saying that you tend to make decisions, but you don't think them through completely. Okay, so stop doing that. Stop doing that. When it comes to connecting with your guide, you gotta kind of narrow it down to one or two things that you want to ask them, because I feel like they're also saying everything is rushed, it's jumbled. Material harvest in reversed. This is like saying your guide is acknowledging that you don't really know yet what direction you want to take this path. It's almost like you're still new. I'm getting the vision of having a table full of stuff and you just don't know what to tackle first. So that is where your guide is going to kind of help you balance everything out, because the Justice card is all about balance. So they're there to kind of help clean the mess with you, but you can't rush things. And then we have Rejoice and Celebration. So it's also a 3 card. So I feel like maybe the number 3 might be very important to you. Maybe your guide will reveal themselves in the number 3 to you. I mean, I'm just saying possibilities. But the Rejoice and Celebration is kind of saying there's a lot of good things coming, but you have to first strengthen your faith in the fact that you even have a spirit guide to begin with. Like, believe in it. You know what I mean? Okay. So let's see, how can you connect with them? We already know that they are gonna connect with you in the more physical realm. At least that's the vibe I feel. Through people, through animals, physical stuff. You might find a feather, you might find pennies on the floor. I mean, you're gonna see physical signs versus like more mental signs, because I feel like you'll trust it if you actually have a physical thing. But how can you connect with your guides? We have the 8 of Pentacles. We have the Page of Pentacles, and we have the 2 of Wands. So I feel like the way that you can work with your guides is simply asking for what it is that you want. You put in some of the effort, they're going to meet you halfway. Page of Pentacles is in the reverse, is kind of like just receiving the message. Now, I want to also indicate that the Pentacles really make me think of money or pennies. So if you are noticing change, like extra change popping up, pennies, money on the ground, that kind of thing, that might actually already be a sign that your guide is talking to you. The 2 of Wands, revealing being able to step outside of yourself when you connect with your guide. So if you are very much, and I feel like you are a very analytical, mental person, like you're always in your head, stepping outside of that in order to connect. So this could be maybe going out into nature so that you can, you know, be in an element that you're not used to. If you like to be inside all the time, go outside to connect with your guide. You have to place yourself in situations, areas, energies, environments that are different from what you're used to. That's how you're going to connect. If you are, for example, if you don't normally meditate, then you better be meditating to connect with them. You know what I'm saying? So things that you're not usually used to doing, the way you're going to connect is doing them. I hope that makes sense. I feel like that might be a little confusing, but that's what's popping up. I also want to say it just looks like they're all holding objects. So I don't know, your guide might already be revealing themselves that, hey, I'm present. Here's a penny on the floor. You know, you're going to notice things. So that's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out for you. And then your questions about how you worry about your readings. You've been reading tarot, but you worry about like your self-doubt. That's where I'm saying like you're stuck in your head all the time. So let's see what we can do, what the cards say about your readings. Disruption, mental conflict in reversed, hope in reverse. So when you go into your tarot readings, when you're reading for yourself, the cards are revealing that you go into it with big expectations. You have high hopes that you're going to get this mind-blowing message from Spirit. The disruption card, there's a lot of disruptions, interruptions when you're doing readings. You have to be in a mental state where you are you're comfortable, you're relaxed, you're calm, where you're not being interrupted by people, noises, that kind of thing. So maybe setting a sacred circle around you, a space where you open up sacred space for yourself. Mental conflict in reverse. Stop worrying about things. Like you kind of have to learn to shut your mind off when you're doing readings. Pull the cards and literally the first feeling that you get, go on that. That's your intuition. Your intuition is the first feeling, the first thought, the first image, the first whatever you get when you are doing your reading. That is your intuition. Everything after that, when you've really started to think it and you're overthinking, that's your ego. We have Ace of Pentacles, we have 8 of Cups, and we have the 7 of Wands. So your tarot practice is going to get better. You're going to see opportunities. You're going to be able to walk away from some of the criticalness. Stop listening to other people. Don't worry about what other people say about your path. Don't worry about the way other readers do things. You need to find your own way. So I feel like the Eight of Cups is almost like walking away from the kind of reader you think you're supposed to be and becoming the reader that you know you want to be, that you are. Embracing that part of yourself. Stop worrying about being the kind of reader that I am or so-and-so is, or whoever, you know what I mean? Approach your cards the way that fits right for you. And then we have the Seven of Wands. And that is, like I said, shutting out outside people. No, not worrying about what everybody else is doing. Leaving it at the door. When you're doing your readings, it's just between you and spirit, your guides, asking your guides to be your little bodyguard, you know, and do your reading. Don't go into it with mental expectations. Just do it. Now, I gotta say, as I'm doing this reading, I keep feeling like something's around me. And I feel like that's what this disruption is. I feel like maybe you sense energies and you get so locked into that you forget your train of thought about your readings. So there's a lot of like disruption with spirit. If you are sensitive, because I'm getting that feeling right now, if you are sensitive to spirit around you, you know, you'll get used to that feeling. But for some reason, I'm really tuning into it right now, and usually that doesn't bother me. So I feel like for you, it's like all these expectations, all of these experiences that you're having are new. You're going to get used to it, and it's not going to be as scary. Chariot card in reversed, take it slow. Devil in reversed, don't worry about things. Don't worry about negative energies. Don't worry about blah, 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 blah. Conjuring the devil. Like, don't worry about that stuff. And then the Six of Cups in reversed. You're going to slowly come into this. It's going to feel more natural to you. But I feel like the main message here is just to take things slow. I'm getting like the feeling of panic right here in my heart. So I don't know if you get really nervous, like maybe you do worry about conjuring negative things and whatnot, or maybe you do experience that so heavily with spirit. You could start asking, because your guide is there to protect you, you could start asking your guide to kind of act as a bodyguard to stop spirit around, saying, hey, you can't come through right now, don't interfere, we're doing a reading first. You know what I mean? Because I'm feeling like my heart is racing right now, and I feel like really nervous energy. So I feel like you're still, you know, getting into it, but you get nervous about conjuring negative stuff, giving the wrong reading, that kind of thing. Don't worry so much about that, my love. The messages will flow. It takes time. You got to work towards it. You know, you're rebuilding your spiritual strength. And eventually, you know, you're going to get to a comfort spot. But there is definitely a lot of disruption when you do your readings, and at least that's what I'm experiencing. So I feel like spirit is showing me what you feel like when you do a reading. And I can see why you would be so distracted. So now the feeling is kind of subsiding. It's kind of going away. I feel like the best advice I could give you is just to try your best to get out of your headspace. Ask your guide to be your bodyguard, your bodyguard, to keep spirit away from you while you're doing your readings until you feel comfortable to ask them to come through to help you. Reading for yourself is amazing, but I want to see you challenge yourself in reading for other people. Eventually, when you get to that point and you're comfortable with it, start doing that. The more you do it, the easier it gets. So this is basically the gist of my reading for you. I feel like there's a lot of fear and nervousness with spirit with you. I feel like there's still some stuff you're gonna discover in your path. You're gonna be a really good reader, but I feel like you need to quiet your mind, the mind chatter that you have going on, the ego chatter, I guess we could call it, and then also getting comfortable with spirit and understanding that you may feel them, but they're not going to hurt you, you know? And the more you believe in the negative stuff, the more it could happen. So that's another thing. The more you acknowledge demons the more entryway you give them to come at you. So don't even worry about that. You know what I mean? You're not conjuring demons by giving a reading, unless you're reading for that purpose, but don't do that. But my love, I feel like with a little bit more practice, you're going to feel more comfortable. So that being said, thank you so much for allowing me to hold space for you. If you have any other questions, please do not hesitate to reach out. I would love to hear from you. And anyone who's watching, this is the spirit guide session. I just kind of tap in, give you some ideas of your spirit guide, see what comes through. Everything is done intuitively. I don't really use spreads in my readings, so that's the way it is. If you would like to book a reading with me, click the links below, check me out. And until then, I wish you, my client, I wish you all of the best in connecting with your spirit guides and doing your readings. And if you have any questions about readings and whatnot, send me a message. We could talk. And until then, I will talk to you guys later. Bye, my loves.